Yo, what's going on everyone? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another Sneak video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Vet's rocket launcher. This is a rocket launcher that's actually pretty unique, and it actually might be the best void rocket launcher in the game. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Featkeeper, the Act 1 rocket launcher. We're going to talk about what makes this weapon special, what are some of the best rolls that you can get on this weapon, and lastly, we're going to have a quick review where you just kind of talk about the weapon, the good, the bad, and if I think the weapon's actually going to see some play or not. So let's get into it. First of all, how do you actually unlock this weapon? Well, unlocking it is going to be through the seasonal activity. You're just going to have to run it, and at the end, at the chest, there's a chance that this thing drops. Once you actually get it to drop once, then you can go to failsafe and start focusing it. And also, running more of the seasonal activity will also have a chance to drop more of these. I would 100% recommend that you run the activity on the expert mode. It still has matchmaking, and it just has just way better loot. You're going to be getting so many red borders from the expert one. But be advised that it is higher level and there are more champions, so go in there prepared. So why would you even want to use this weapon, the Featkeeper? Well, it's a precision frame rocket, meaning that it has tracking built in, and it also comes with some unique perks that we have never seen on the Void Precision rocket. And also because it's a Void rockets are not only a rare sight, but there's actually not that many good ones. So because of the good perks that this weapon can get, this is probably the best Void rocket in the game now, even if it is a precision frame. Also, precision frames have been getting some buffs lately, but just trying to push them into the direction of the meta. And right now, the most recent buff actually increased the amount of rockets they can carry. So now these things can carry even more rockets. So since the main selling point of this weapon is the perks and some of the unique ones it can get, let's get into it. Let's take a look at the perks. Like always, we're going to be starting from the left with the barrels and work our way to the trade perks. Alright, so now let's start off with the barrel. And for the barrel, you could go with either hard launch or volatile launch. Both of those are going to be pretty good. Now for the magazine, you either want alloy casing, you want a bunch of reload, you're going to get plus 30 reload, which is going to go very nice with something like clown cartridge. Or if you want to go for auto-loading holster, you should go with impact casing. And now let's move on to where we're actually going to spend most of our time, the trade perks, and let's start with the first one. Okay, so for the first perk, this is what we have. You have Strategist, Danger Zone, Field Prep, Impulse Amplifier, Clown Cartridge, Repulsor Brace, and auto-loading holster. The best perks that I think that you can get on this column are either Field Prep, Clown Cartridge, or auto-loading holster. So first of all, Field Prep is going to give us increased ammo reserves and also faster reload whenever we're crouching. And the main reason why we want to use it is really for those reserves. It's pretty much going to max out the amount of rockets that we can carry without having to use any mods. So just by itself is going to increase it that much. And also the extra reload speed is a bit nice. So Field Prep, pretty good perk, especially if you're just trying to get some more rockets. Next up we have Clown Cartridge. Whenever we reload, we're going to overflow the magazine. So instead of reloading one like we usually do, we're always going to be reloading two. So Clown Cartridge, well, it's a pretty simple effect. It's a very effective one. Just being able to fire two rockets without having to reload is going to be really nice. Next up we have auto-loading holster. This is going to auto-reload our weapon when it's put away. So we can shoot a rocket, switch to another weapon, and after a couple of seconds the weapon will be reloaded again and ready for whenever we need it. All these three perks are pretty good, but I think I like Clown Cartridge a little bit more. Just being able to reload two rockets at once, especially if you're a hunter like me, where you can use dodge reload, it is really nice. So Clown Cartridge is going to be my go-to, but Field Prep and auto-loading are not far behind. They're both really good perks as well. Now this is what we have for the second perk. We have Demolitionist, Frenzy, Destabilizing Rounds, Reverberation, Lasting Impressions, Explosive Light, and then Bipod. And the main ones that I would say that are going to be really good on this rocket are going to be Explosive Light or Bipod. So let's start off with Explosive Light. With Explosive Light, whenever we pick Nova Power, it's going to empower our rockets, max out our blast radius, and give us 25% increased damage for the next rocket. Each orb of light basically equals one rocket, so you can pick up to 6 with normal Explosive Light, and 7 if you have the enhanced version of Explosive Light. which is it's a lot of rockets. Being able to have 7 rockets with 25% extra damage, it is very nice. Explosive Light's always been a good perk on rockets. You could use it for boss DPS, you could use it to kill champions. Any situation, Explosive Light's can be pretty good. The only downside with Explosive Light is that you do have to do a bit of setup with it. You gotta pick up those orbs. If you die, you lose all those stacks and all that setup that you did to get those stacks of Explosive Light. So that's like the only downside, that if you die, you lose everything and then you just have a regular rocket, essentially. But even with that, Explosive Light is still pretty amazing. And if you're doing DPS where a wall gets placed down, then you're always going to have at least a couple of stacks of Explosive Light, even if you die and you had none before. Now moving on to the other one, we have Bipod. Bipod can be hit or miss. Some people like it, some people hate it. I kind of lean more towards the like side of things. So Bipod is going to increase your magazine capacity by 1, and is going to increase your reserves by 5. And it also decreases your firing delay by 25%, meaning that you don't have to wait as long between rockets. But in exchange, you're going to lose blast radius, you're going to lose reload speed, and you're going to lose 25% damage from your rockets. So each one of your rockets is not going to do as much damage, but you are going to have a lot of them, and you're also going to have a bigger magazine, and you're also going to be able to shoot them a little faster than usual. So it's definitely a trade-off there. Something that's very cool about this rocket is that it can actually get Bipod and auto-loading holster both at the same time, which is something that no other rocket can do. So you can fire off your 2 shots, put your rocket away, and then by the time you switch to it, it'll be reloaded with those 2 shots again. Which is, it's pretty good. You definitely could get some more damage out there with this combo. And if you're wondering, does Bipod stack with Clown Cartridge? Yes it does. Clown Cartridge and Bipod together will give you basically 3 rockets every time you reload. So you're going to be having tons of rockets every time you reload. So that's another thing that you're going for. You're basically trying to make up the damage difference that you're losing by just being able to fire more rockets. But if you want to get the most out of Bipod, you definitely want to pair it up with someone wearing a galley. That is the way that you get the most out of Bipod. Whenever somebody else has a galley, because every one of those shots that you're going to fire is going to have the Wolfpack rounds. So it's going to definitely increase your DPS that you can output against anything. Against a boss, against a champion. It's just going to make your rocket a lot better. But it does require someone else to be running an exotic. So that's if you want to maximize what you can do with Bipod. If you don't do that, then it's definitely not as good. Boss DPS at least, I think it's still going to be pretty fine against just champions or any other enemies you might run into. But at boss DPS, you 100% are going to want a galley. So while both Bipod and Explosive Light are pretty good, I think I lean more towards Explosive Light. I kind of like that perk better. So I would say that Explosive Light's probably going to be the better one of the two. So now let's move on to the God Rules. First of all, let's talk about the best one, which I think is Clown Cartridge plus Explosive Light. With this one, you're going to be able to fire off more Explosive Light shots, and you also have always 2 in the mag. It's really nice, and I just love this role. This is the role that actually you've been seeing in the background of this gameplay. This is the one I'm using in the GM. Now the other one is going to be auto-loading holster with Explosive Light. This one's going to be pretty good. We fire off our Explosive Light shot, and then we switch over to our other weapons. And whenever we need it, we're just going to be able to switch back to it, and it's going to be reloaded. So we basically never have to reload. Auto-loading is going to be pretty good for that. Now if you want to go with Bipod, I think auto-loading Bipod is probably going to be the best one. You fire your 2 rockets, and then put your weapon away, and whenever you need it, it'll be ready to fire again. So that's going to be the best perk combo that you could get for Bipod. So if you want Bipod, this is what you're going to go for. Now let's talk a little bit about the weapon, and I actually really like this rocket. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there's really not that many good Void rockets. Before this one, I think the only good Void rocket was actually the Osprey, and that one also didn't have like the best perks. But it did have Bipod, so it did have that going, just like this rocket. But I really like that this one has Explosive Light. Explosive Light can make a difference, and I think is what most people are gonna go for. I would definitely recommend the Explosive Light with the Clown Cartridge. Even the Bipod auto-loading, I could see it working, especially if you have a galley and you have enhanced auto-loading. If you're gonna use auto-loading, make sure it's the enhanced version. It's just so much better than normal auto-loading. you definitely want to enhance that perk at least. But yeah, I do think that this rocket is good. I do think that whenever Void Surge comes around, this rocket's gonna come out. It's probably like the best Void rocket in the game. And unless Bungie drops another Void rocket anytime soon, it's probably gonna be the best Void rocket in the game for a while. I also haven't mentioned another great part about the weapon, that it's a craftable weapon. So you're gonna be able to get your God roll crafted and pretty much mess around with all the perks if you really want to. Maybe one day you're feeling the auto loading plus the Bipod. Maybe another day you're feeling the clown cartridge plus the explosive light. You're gonna be able to mess around with it to your liking. So I definitely think this is a good rocket. I put it to test in the GMs and it seemed to do pretty well. But anyways, thank you all for watching today. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. Leave me down in the comments below what do you guys think about this rocket and what is the role that you're going to be going for. As always, thank you all for stopping by and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.